Hello, my MCC yoga class. I am so happy to be on here finally putting up a video for you guys. I'm going to step back to my chair and begin class in just a moment. I hope that you will join me, and feel free to comment on either our Facebook page or our YouTube channel as these are posted, and let me know you're joining me, and let me know if there's something that you'd like me to cover in our classes as we move forward with these online content. Okay, thank you so much, and let's get started. So I'm going to sit down in my chair, feet firmly planted, sitting up tall, finding a gaze forward. And we're just going to take some time to breathe here, so feel free to close your eyes if you prefer. And just sipping in the breath and releasing it. Breathing in through the nostrils. Exhaling out through the nostrils. Checking in with your good posture. Observing the breath as it fills out the space in our lungs. Observing it as we release it fully. Good. Now let's begin some head movement to release our neck. So on our first inhale here, let's lift the heart, lift the gaze up, maybe lift the chin a bit. And then as we exhale, slowly bring the chin toward the chest to gaze down toward our feet. And once again, rotate up. And exhale, bring it down. And again, up. And down. This time, as we lift up, let's bring our hands up as we keep the chin down. And now, as we lift the chin up, float the arms down and back. And again. Chin comes down, arms float up. And reverse it. Do it a few more times. Last time here. Good. Sitting up tall, take your arms behind you and sweep them forward and up. Bring your palms together, press together, lower down to heart center. Inhale, press up, and break them apart. Swan dive down, hinging from your hips, keeping your back flat, your belly strong. Good. Let's take it back upright. Palms pressed together and down to heart center, pressing. Press together, lift up, hinge forward, release back like wings. Bring those angel wings up. Press together in heart center. Bring it up. And hinge. And just let the arms drop at your side. Come upright and let's roll our shoulders out. As we roll our shoulders out, perhaps moving our head from one side to the other. Nice and slow control. Just exploring that shoulder joint where it feels good to you, just loosening it up. Good, last time here, and let's do opposite arms. Right arm up, left arm back, and switch. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Take it one more time. Inhale. But this time, exhale, reach over into a side bend. So notice my lower hand is holding onto the chair for stability, wherever you need to for stability to make sure you feel safe in your chair. And let's come upright and take it to the other side. Exhale it out. Feel that stretch down your open side. And we'll go a couple times side to side. Inhale up. Exhale, reach over. Inhale up. Exhale, reach over. Inhale up. Exhale over. Inhale up. Exhale over. Good. Bring it upright, both arms up. Hands back together, pressing together. Lower to heart center. Hold here a moment. So I'd also like to welcome anyone that is trying my class for the first time. This is a chair yoga class. It's meant for all levels. We usually begin in our chair, and then those that want to come up out of their chair will do so when we come to our standing postures. Those that need to stay in their chair can do that, and I will start with that modification first, and then show the chair assisted modification, and then show the chair free. So we'll do a little bit of hatha today in order to set up those different versions of the postures so you can pick what works for you best. Okay, so let's keep holding. Feeling really strong in the upper body as we spread the fingers away from each other. We should see that webbing between each finger. The fingers are long and strong, and we're feeling a nice stretch in the wrists and the fingers. Big breaths. Good, let's shoot the arms up again. And then just fold behind your head. Take the prayer hands behind the head and back up. Keep pressing those palms together. Once more. And this time, bring it behind, interlace the hands, bring the elbows wide, drawing back with the elbows, opening the heart, feeling a little squeeze in your upper back. We'll do some butterflying here, so elbows come inward toward the temples, and then open it out. Squeeze that upper back. Again, close on your inhale. Open, squeeze. Good, hold it here. And now some kayaking. So right elbow comes in and circles back. And then left. Feel it in your sides. A figure 8 movement through that torso. Keeping the navel drawn back. Do just a couple more. Kayaking as if your elbows are oars. And one more time here. Good. And let's press it up. And release it down and back to those wings. Nice long spine here. Good, release the hands down, start to sit up tall, lift the arms in front, and then just bring it down. Big circles. Big circles might be with bent arms, that's okay. I encourage you to inhale and exhale through your nostrils. I am exhaling through my mouth a little bit so you can hear my breath. Big angel wings come up, and let's bring it down in front. So just 5 circles in this direction. And again, softening through those elbows if you need to keep it gentler. Good, hands on our lap. So we're going to do a little cat-cow motion with the spine now. Feel free to hinge forward deeper, or to even go to your hands and knees if that's in your practice. Now you might notice that I have 2 mats crossed. And if you have 2 mats to do that at home, or even a towel, that would be a nice way to give yourself an extra cushion in the center where they cross. So you can do that too if you know that you feel comfortable going down to your mat. But let me show you how we do it first for our first option. So hands on the lap, maybe in front of the knees, cupping those knees carefully or comfortably. And we'll go to cow first. So bring your chest forward, take your gaze up. Elbows are in by those rib cages. And then pull back on the navel and round the spine, looking down. Empty out the belly, cat. And again, heart comes forward, cow. And cat. So if we're going deeper, maybe we bring our hands to our shins. Or maybe even closer to the floor. And again, if you're comfortable going down to your mat, hands come to the floor to lower yourself slowly. Shoulders over wrists, so starfish hands, strong fingers again. So cow, rounding up cat. Let's do one more for good measure. So please honor your body and only go to the option that feels best to you. If you're doing option 1 and that feels like the best, safest place for you, please stay there. I just brought my foot to the mat, I'm catching my chair, bringing myself back up, and then the other. So now we're back into our chairs, and we're going to do a spinal twist. So if you came down to your mat, you might sit down into your seat bones and cross your ankles in an easy pose to do a nice gentle spinal twist. The rest of us, we're just going to stay in our chair. Let's keep our feet in that parallel position. So our knees are lined up with our second toe, we're aligned, and right with those hips sitting up tall. Let's go ahead and twist to your right. And allow the gaze to float over the back shoulder. So we're sitting up nice and tall. We're not forcing it. We're just allowing the rib cage to float around the spine. Staying anchored in our seat bones. Feeling a wringing out of the muscles. And nice controlled breathing. And coming forward. Controlling the breath in the sense of not rushing it. So just being aware of the intake and the outtake. And we twist it to the other side. Again, our lower body's very stable here. Returning back to center. And now now let's start to move a little into the lower body joints. So for this, we're going to start with the hips, and let's go ahead and take our right leg. So with this, you can leave your knee bent at the right angle and just kind of rock the leg out and in by pressing out with the knee and in. You can also step it out and in, and maybe you choose to do it with an extended leg. So extend the leg, the knee stays a little soft, and rock the toe out or the foot out and back in. So this is kind of just warming up in that hip joint, getting the abductor muscles warmed up. So choose which option feels better to you. I always like to do a little bit of joint movement with this class to get us a little bit warm before we start to hold postures or sink into them or anything that might cause a little bit of too much strain without a nice warm up. Good, and move it back to center and switch to the other side. So once again, maybe just rocking from here, maybe stepping out and in, kind of like a gate, opening and closing, or maybe extending soft knee, rolling the foot out. So it's from the hip, but we see how the foot rolls out and back in. And make sure we're always checking in that we're sitting up tall using our good posture. So I'll go back and forth and looking at you into the camera to talk to you, and also staying with my drishti forward. So I encourage you to stay with yours. And for those of you that don't know what drishti means, it just means a focal point for your gaze. It helps to quiet your mind, so it helps you stay mind-body connected and present in your yoga practice. Just keep sipping in that breath and releasing it slowly. And we're done here. So bring that foot back in. Now warming up the knee joints by taking the right leg and extending it and bending it. So it's not like we're lifting weights or really worrying about a lot of contraction in the muscle. It's more of just kind of a nice, free, easy movement, but without a momentum swinging. So nice and aware of the movement and how it affects not just the joint, but the muscles around that joint, and just kind of warm it up. You can pull the heel back a little bit too toward the chair to get a little warm up there on both sides of the leg, thigh and hamstring, or quadricep and hamstring. We're sitting up tall. Good. Set that down. We'll take it to the other leg. So for instance, we wouldn't want to go right into a figure 4 or pigeon pose without warming up the hip region. So this is a good reason to kind of get this going in a way that's safer for us as we age. If you were to do a whole standing practice to warm up your body, it might be just a little bit too much for you, but we're going to get there. We're going to get into those warriors. Good. All right. Our next one is working the hip flexor, shortening it. So we're going to either do a bent knee lift, and if you're already standing to do these, that's fine. You're going to be working your balance and getting the same conditioning movements in your body. The other option would be to extend the leg, soft knee, and lead with the toes lifting up. It's still from the hip though. This is a little bit harder, so maybe a smaller range of motion. Good, that's enough of those. And do the other side. And now, let's go ahead and extend the right leg once more and just point and flex. If you're not comfortable hovering that leg, go ahead and take the heel to the floor and just point to tap the toes to the mat and then flex to tap the heel. If you're comfortable hovering it though, feel free. So all these movements are really good to wake up that joint chain in the body or in the lower body, and to help with maybe neuropathy or other issues we might have with the joints, from the hip to the knee to the ankle, even the bones in the foot. Good movements to do first thing in the morning before you even place any weight on your feet to walk around. If you have time to do a little movement before you step out of your bed. Good, let's switch and go to the other side. So again, just pointing and flexing. And with these, you can go slower, more purposeful. Really take the time to listen to your body and explore how the feeling or how the movement feels. So don't have to go fast. Just do it for a little length of time. Good, that's enough of that one. And now we're going to do an ankle circle. So you can just support your leg and let that ankle circle. If you want to recline back on your chair, and if you have a pillow you want to put behind you, that's a good thing to do too. But gather that knee in toward your chest, maybe hold behind the thigh, maybe interlace the fingers to clasp below the knee about 3 inches on the shin, and move that ankle around. Remember to keep your abdominals drawn back, whether you're sitting up tall and using it for good posture, or just protecting your back here as you recline. And then reverse the direction. Good, and we'll switch sides. Catch it however you can. And again, maybe you choose to just sit upright and cradle under that thigh to lift the foot up a bit. And reverse. And remember, if any of these movements don't feel good to you, you can just skip them. You can just focus on something that does feel good to you, or just sit still and breathe. Focus on that breath, because that is really our number one thing. We want to learn to connect with our breath and quiet our minds so we can feel how good our yoga feels. And we just want to find that peace and contentment that we can find in the present moment too. So you should feel pretty warm in those joints now. Let's come out of our chairs. Okay, so use the chair to support if you need to, or you can use a little bit of momentum. So actually, let's practice that. So just back far enough till you feel your abdominals, momentum swing so your nose comes in line with your toes. Keep the abdominals strong. And now we're going to see if we can use a little bit more oomph to get a little out of our chair. A little out of our chair. And then our next one, we're going to stop right there and hold that chair pose. Keep holding it. Belly back, chest up, gaze forward. Chin parallel to the floor. Weight toward our heels. Tailbone under. Good, sit it back down. You can reach for your chair for support if you feel safer there. This time, practice coming all the way up. So nose over toes and a little out of the chair and all the way up. And then we'll sit down into our chair, arms in front, or you can prayer hands it, or even reach for your chair if that feels safer, and then just slowly sit ourselves down. Good, let's try it again. All the way up. Exhale, mountain, and then hands in front, lowering through that chair pose, Back to the chair, squeeze your glutes. And again, up. And down. So if you didn't feel safe, squat a little bit, reach back to the chair and sit. And if you're not sure that chair is right behind you, take a couple little steps back. We want you to be safe and feel safe. All right, we're gonna come up to standing once more, and this time we're gonna go into some more some standing work. So all the way up. And let's just hold that mountain. Now my feet are hip distance apart right now. If you want to, for a little more challenge, walk your feet all the way together. Feel your thighs strong, your kneecaps lifting up through your psoas, your spine, drawing back on your navel, maybe bringing your palms together, interlacing the fingers and then releasing the index finger. And reaching up through the body for Samasthiti. If this isn't comfortable for you, a couple different arm options. You might just hold your hands apart. You might go to a cactus arm. You might go to prayer position. Or you might rest your arms at your side. Palms forward if you'd like to open that heart. And now if a little bit of rocking or swaying in your feet is happening, that's completely normal. We have a lot of small bones in our ankles and our feet, many, many bones. And it's a lot to ask them to hold our whole body weight over them. So that little bit of rocking or shifting of weight is absolutely normal. Just accept it as part of the posture, as part of this moment. Feel a sense of pulling up through the body though, as you allow your feet to relax and spread out. Feeling that natural lift of the arch if you peel your toes up. Good, all right, relax for a moment. And I'm going to pause this and give you a chance to have a drink of water before we go into our standing warrior and lunge work. Okay, I'm back. Let's get ready to do some warrior work. So our warrior work is going to be really strengthening that lower body. I'm going to go ahead and bring my chair forward this way so you guys can see me from the side. All right, so if I'm facing you and my chair's over here to my right, now notice perhaps when you're looking at this video later that my right is your left. Just go with it, make sure you're getting both sides, okay? So I'm gonna step wide on my mat. Now that's gonna be relative to where you feel comfortable in your hips and in your knees. Feet are parallel right now. And now I'm just gonna rotate on my heel that's closest to the chair, pick up the toes and rotate them so they're facing that long edge of my mat. So perpendicular to my chair and that front edge of my mat. The back leg is parallel, or back foot is parallel to the back edge of my mat. Bending into the knee, and if I look down, I can see my toes in front of my knee there, and I feel like I'm pushing into that heel. If this doesn't feel comfortable in your hips or in your knee, you might need to check that alignment. For me personally, I feel like I need to go a little wider, so I'm gonna take that back leg back a little bit, and then now I feel a little bit more just balanced for my body. But you might prefer a shorter stance, so find where that's right for you. This is a warrior two, since I'm open to face you, facing that long edge of my mat. Arms maybe extended out from the shoulders, feeling lots of energy shooting out from shoulders to fingertips. Dynamic tension, pressing into the feet. Notice the back leg is straight and strong, the front knee is bent at a right angle. I feel the work being done in my thigh, not in my knee. All right, pulling back on the navel, tucking the seat under, chest up. Looking over that front arm if you can. And if you needed to hold on to the chair and just extend the back arm, that would be fine too. Okay, make yourself safe. But now let's move into reverse warrior. So we're going to extend our body forward toward the chair, turn our front palm upward, and then slowly rotate back. So this arm will hold on to the back long leg, the other arm reaches up, maybe gazing up to that hand. If you feel unsafe there, you might bring your hand behind your head. You might hold on to the chair, but allow the spine to move back toward that extended leg behind you. Anchored in the feet, strong lower body here. And coming back upright. We'll switch sides. So turn to face your chair, pick up your back heel, walk that foot forward. Take a moment, wiggle it out if you need to. I'm going to turn to face the mirror now. So stepping out with my other foot, in this case it's my right leg stepping back. And I already have my toes facing that way because I was facing the chair. So we're already set up with the right feet. Now again, adjust wider or narrower if you need to. Arms extended out, looking over it. Equal strength in those legs. Moving into reverse warrior, extend the body forward, turn the front palm up, and slowly go back. And again, your modifications. Turn to face front. Pick up the back heel and step it forward. All right, we're going to do a downward facing dog next. So for this, we are going to step back both feet. We're going to start at the high level in case this is somewhere where someone needs to stay. A couple different reasons. One, the most important reason probably would be keeping the head higher than the heart. So not inverting too low. Stepping back far enough that when we push our hips back, our spine extends and we can lower our head so the ears line up right between our biceps. Knees are a little bit soft, navel scoop back, and then again, just pressing the heart down, but feeling really strong in that shoulder area. I'm stretching my fingers forward even though I'm supporting on the chair. So the palm of my hand is straddled over the top of the chair. This is option one. Option two would bring the hands to the seat of the chair. Adjust if you need to with those feet. And notice the head's going lower now. So don't go here unless you know it's absolutely safe for you to do so, if it's a regular practice for you in your yoga. Contraindications for inversions will be blood pressure changes, highs or lows, also glaucoma, or if we tend to be a little dizzy, or maybe if we're a little stuffed up, it just doesn't feel very comfortable. If our nose is stuffy because of allergies. So just knowing how it feels in your body. Perhaps this is a little too intense for your backs and your legs and your lower back too. But remember, if you're giving it support, if you're softening your knees if you need to, it should feel safe. One more option all the way down to the floor for the people that know that that's right for them. Spreading those fingers apart like starfish. Fully inverted in an upside down V. Take one more breath and come out of this. So some of us may feel safer walking the hands to the feet, but if you're comfortable bringing your feet to your hands, go for it. But in order to clear the chair, I'm just gonna walk my hands back. And then just slowly come up. You might roll up, you might just hinge up slowly, but coming to upright, back into your mountain pose. I'll turn back to face you. And once again, we're gonna step wide and set up for a triangle pose. So stepping our feet nice and wide once more, and using that chair to support as you pivot on that front, or in this case, my right heel, toes toward the front edge of the mat. And instead of bending into the knee like I just did here, we're gonna keep the legs straight, but we don't wanna lock the knees. We wanna feel stable in our core and feel that sense of pulling up the kneecaps so you feel those thighs are really strong. And arms extended, extending forward toward the chair, so hip pushes back right here to create an angle right here between your rib cage and your front thigh. Go as far as you can. You can rest your arm on the chair if you want to stay a little higher, because it's more important that we stay lined up than it is we get close to the floor. But if we're feeling it, and again I adjust my foot because that's what I felt like I needed to do, you might bring your hand down to the chair and extend a little lower, or maybe to your shin, or maybe reaching toward the floor. But notice I didn't go here, anywhere near there. I stayed open, and just my hip allowed that release toward the floor. So looking up toward your hand if you can, and you can always modify and drop that arm behind your back. Remember to roll the rib cage here, your intercostal muscles, to keep your shoulder rolled back. And we'll take one more breath. Good, bending in your front knee, come on up. Use the chair if you need to. Pivot that front or right foot so the toes are all facing the long edge of our mat. Adjust if you feel a little uncomfortable on your hips. Pull back on your belly, soften your knees, push the hips back, support on those thighs if you need to. If you're able to, walk it down to your shins, or maybe even down to your ankles or the floor. Continue to hinge. This is again an inversion, so for most of us, keep that head higher than the heart. And I'm going to turn sideways so you can see my spine a little bit better, okay? So stay there, please. And since I have this kind of straddle mat thing or crossed mat thing, I can just kind of go sideways. But we're just going to keep that back flat, belly up, spine long, lead with our heart, pull the shoulders back and away from the ears, and lead with the heart in that. That will be a lot more intense and effective here, and it'll keep your lower back safe. Knees soft, heart leading. So the opposite of that would be pulling up in the belly, coming the head down with the head and the shoulders, okay? So way more effective here, releasing into it. Now you notice I have had some blocks today. I brought those to show you if we're doing standing postures. There's different heights of those blocks that you can use to support you. And it doesn't have to be yoga blocks. It can be something in your home that's similar, that would give you something to rest your weight on, to kind of support you if you're not comfortable going all the way down to the floor, but maybe you're a little lower than that top chair. So even though I'm supporting on the props, I want to try to not put too much weight into my hands. So even though the hands are supporting on the blocks, feel a sense of pushing up and away. So it's again finding that dynamic tension. Tabletop spine here, do you see it? It's not a cow, it's not a cat, it's just a nice solid back, strong back. Good, I'm gonna come up, so bending the knees, and let's set those blocks aside. Coming up, and walk those feet together. Let's just take a moment in mountain again. So, let's get ready to do the triangle on the other side. So face the chair, step back. With your right foot this time, turn the heel down, or open. I'm going to get myself on my mat more. Open, and then again, just rock to extend the front leg, Arms reach out. Push the hip back to start to hinge over that front thigh. Everything's still lined up, all the joints in the body. The chair's there if you need it. Keep it strong here. Maybe hand to the chair, maybe to the shin, maybe almost to the floor. And rotating the gaze up. And again, arm options. But rotating back at the rib cage. Go where you feel safe. Don't lock the knees. Strong, stable core. And come on up. And turn to face front. And let's pick up the foot and walk it forward. Give yourself a little wiggle here. Okay, I'm going to move my chair just so you can see me a little bit better. I think I'm just going to kind of move it on the diagonal here. This way maybe you get a good view of my lunge. Good side view. So, facing your chair seat. And you can certainly do this higher. Turn the chair around so the back of the chair is facing and you're holding higher. And you keep your lunge a little higher. But I'm going to take my hands to the seat and take my right foot back. So, before I do anything with this, I'm going to check in with that left foot and make sure the knee again is stacked over the ankle and I can see those toes kind of hiding under my chair. The right foot, I'll push the heel toward the floor to get a nice stretch. And this is supporting it. So I'm supporting my upper body weight here and not allowing that upper body to sink into the lower body. So this is going to be a little gentler. If I come upright, I'm going to feel a deeper stretch in my psoas, or my hip flexor. You can also reach an arm up to kind of intensify that. And holding onto the chair as needed. And some people prefer to go lower. More of an extended position, which looks similar to a plank. Just pushing that front knee. The heel on that front foot should be on the mat to protect those joints. So adjust back if you need to. Good, and let's come up, walk it up. And turn the heel down and inward now, and then we're just coming up warrior one. Good. Now, shifting the hips back, take your hands to your hips, maybe to your thigh, maybe to the chair, shifting the hips back to fold down slowly over that front leg. There might be a few of you that feel comfortable taking your forehead towards your knee or shin. Please feel free to go where you know your body is safe in your yoga, but for everybody's safety, I'm just going to keep it in this middle of the road place. As long as it feels good, that's all that matters. Quieting your breath. Calming your breath, quieting your mind. And just try to keep that breath nice, equal ratio breathing. If you're feeling a little bit antsy or stressed out, try taking your exhale and making it longer than your inhale. It'll calm you down. Good. Gaze forward. Bend in your front knee. Walk it up onto your hands. Step forward and we'll switch legs. So stepping back. Once again, adjusting the front foot so you feel that weight in the heel. Heel down, come up if you want, maybe onto your fingertips here. Notice I'm not slumping, I'm using abdominal control, I'm using chest up, shoulders down. Maybe you lift an arm. And if you're lifting an arm, lift the same arm as the leg back, so you're getting that openness on that whole psoas. Good, bring it down, turn the heel down, and bring the whole body upright, warrior one. So I'm going to turn my body to face you so you can see my feet from a different angle. So, just like the lunge, the toe and knee aligned, and then the heel turns in though. If you can, the heels line up. If it feels safer to have your foot a little wider, that's good too. Trying to get the hip rotated forward, the upper torso forward in the warrior one, so just be careful with it. Adjust the back foot as needed. Good, and going back into that head to knee, we're going to support on the leg. Now, I would have you facing your chair here. I'm just doing this so you can see it. Hinging forward, walking where you feel safe. And I'll take you back to the chair. You might also feel a sense of squaring off your hips by imagining that the front leg's hip is pushing back and the back leg's hip is pushing forward. Notice that how just does a little slight rotation and correction of the hips to square yourself off. Always keeping the neck long and lined up with the spine so you feel that energy from top of your head down through your tailbone. Nice, just natural flow of energy. Good, from here, let's move into a side angle. So I'm going to be facing away from you from this one since I'm on this leg. So we're coming up and adjust the feet as needed. Use the chair to support. Rotate around with that rib cage again so the shoulders are lined up. And again, maybe reaching. So it looks similar to the triangle, but that front leg is bent. We might drop the arm behind the back. We might take it lower. Good, and rotate to face front. Use your hands to support. Take your back heel up, step forward with it, and then step back with your right to repeat that on the other side. Pivoting that back heel down, inward. Checking that front knee again, knee toes, knee over heel. Rotating from the rib cage. Opening out. Always find, wrap your arm behind your back. But notice we're rotated toward the ceiling. You can certainly modify that if that isn't safe for you, of course. And then maybe coming down to the leg or the chair. Or maybe some even extending, gluing the forearm to the shin, fully expressed here, or here an extended side angle. So choose your option. Come on up. Push away from that foot. Actually, let's go and bend into it and turn and face. Pick up the back heel. Step forward. Walk it out a little bit here, facing your chair. And maybe we do a little cat-cow since we're already bent over the chair. So inhale. Exhale, round up. Inhale. Exhale, round up. Inhale. And removing the range of motion that feels good to your body. Back to the table. Take a moment. So remember, those that prefer to do your practice on your mat, table would be hands and knees on your mat, but still the same concepts of aligning the joints, stacking shoulder over wrist and elbow, stacking hips over knees if you're on your knees, or hips over heels and knees if you're standing. Let's go ahead and push into our support and then float our left leg behind us. You can stay right there, or if you're feeling strong enough, float your right arm up so it's shooting out from your shoulder forward for spinal balance. Gazes forward, right at our chair or mat. And float it down, both limbs, one at a time if you prefer. And again, check in with that strong table, pushing away from your support. Strong back, flat belly. You're strong. Stomach pulling the navel toward the spine, and pick up the right leg. Try to lift it so it's in line with your spine. Feel your glute engage, feel your lower back and your hamstring. And again, if you're up to it, pushing your right hand, lift your left arm up. A little bit of body weight resistance. This is good for increasing our bone density. Good. Bring it back down. And roll up to standing. We'll do one balance pose today. We're going to do our tree pose. So I'm going to turn the chair. Let's see. I'll bring it this way so you can kind of see me. Actually, I'll turn this way. There we go. So I'm going to support on the chair with this hand as I set this up. This will be my stabilizing leg. So just making sure we're upright, pulling up through the body. Knees soft, but pulling up in the kneecaps so we feel those hips kind of press open and out a little bit. A little squeeze of the glutes. Heart up, shoulders down, long neck. Pick up our outside leg, not the one closest to the chair. And roll the knee out. So we're doing that by opening out the hip and moving it to where we feel a squeeze back there, feeling where the socket sits comfortably, or the ball sits comfortably in the socket, and feeling how that feels in our own body. You can hold it right there if you want. Just bring this one to prayer. Light touch on the chair. If you want, bring the foot up a little higher, perhaps at your ankle with the toes lightly touching the floor, or just above the ankle into the calf area, or perhaps even into your thigh. But try not to grip with your toes on either foot, just relax them. Trust that core, pull up through the body. Maybe you prefer to bring the hand up overhead. And if you're feeling stable enough, maybe you bring both hands. And if we get a little too wobbly, then we just set the foot down and set it back up again. So that's all you have to do. Just take a moment. Breathing, letting go of judgment, letting go of competition, letting go of expectation, and just being. Accept whatever comes in the moment. If you feel like you need to step out and walk it out, go ahead and do so. So I don't want to turn away from you, so I'm just going to turn to face my chair to do the other side. So this time our left leg is going to stabilize us. We're going to pick up our right heel and turn the knee out as we rotate open at the hip. And then bring the foot up where you want it. Decide how you're expressing yourself with your arms and your hands. Another way to catch your balance is grab that chair and right yourself again. A few people that prefer to extend all the way up, that's fine too. Try to get the ears in front of the biceps. when you're ready, and walk it out. Walk it out. Good. We're going to take it back to our chairs to finish our practice, doing some seated work. I'm going to just face you square on this time. And those that like to do their practice on their mat, you can do these figure 4 stretch that we're going to do seated on your mat, starting in staff pose. That's with your legs extended in front of you, and then just fold one leg up. If you're comfortable folding the other leg up underneath you and still sitting into both seat bones, you can certainly do that. If you're comfortable going onto your back and getting into this position and drawing this knee in toward you, you can do that. Restorative form of the figure 4 or pigeon pose. And then if you're comfortable going into a full pigeon, this folded leg will be laying on the mat in front of you, and this leg will be extended behind you, squared off toward your mat and folding your upper body down. So I will demonstrate that in just a moment, but for now, let's just find this. Now, if you had a block or even just a soft pillow, where's my block? There it is. And it felt more comfortable to kind of elevate that, to get it more level, you could do that. But that might be too intense for some, so find that, get yourself comfortable however you need to. I like to massage my knee a little bit and just kind of make sure my ankle's straight. And this is not a lotus, so we're not going to pull the foot in toward our hip. We want to try to keep it as square as we can. Because then when we hinge forward, we're going to get that really nice piriformis stretch, and that's what we're aiming for here. So sit up tall, big breath, lift the heart. Drawing back on the navel, hinging from the hips, keeping the spine long, and just fold over your lap in that folded leg position. It is probably pretty intense for most of us, and just breathe and relax. Allow your body to release into the stretch as you take deep breaths. Again, I encourage you, if you're in a posture or a stretch that's so intense for you that it causes a little bit of discomfort or a little bit of trepidation, then please just take that longer exhale. Allow your mind to relax. Allow your body to let go of that. You will find release. And if it's painful, then get out of it, okay? A little bit of discomfort means that you have some growth that you can achieve. Gently coming up and release that down. Take a moment if you want. Take the toes under and feel a stretch in the front of the ankle. And you can make that as intense as you want, depending on how much you push down to the top of your foot. Release that. And that's a stretch we get when we're in fixed firm or child's pose, which we don't do in this class. You're welcome to do it in this class if you're on your mat, but in this class we typically don't. Okay, so let's go ahead and take the foot up and cross it over. And again, if you're not comfortable all the way up here, that's totally fine. Keep it down lower in front of your shin or even just right in front of your ankle. You'll still get a nice stretch when you go into that fold. You'll still feel it back here. If you're tight and this is hard, then that modification, you're gonna feel that because that's where your body is. And then again, leading with that heart, let's fold forward. our feet wide as you feel comfortable. Knees going out in the direction of our toes. Sit up tall, support on the thighs, hinging forward. This is in lieu of our Malasana, which is that deep little squat. Coming here, if you want. Again, you have a block maybe, or something you can prop your hands on. You can do that. And again, there's 3 levels to that block, so depending on how deeply you want to go. For those that are comfortable, you can pick your seat up out of your and get down into that Malasana. Make sure you adjust your feet to where the joints in your lower body feel good. And heels down if you can, that's what we're aiming for. Allowing your knees to press out. You can even use your elbows to gently push them out. And again, my hands might be down here on the floor or on the block. They might even come to prayer. But you can skip that and stay in your chair and just hinge down between those legs. Good, and we're going to come up out of it. So a little shift weight forward onto your hands. Reach back for your chair if you need to. Come back into it. Let's bring our feet in. And if you're comfortable doing so, we're going to cross the knee over the other knee. If you prefer, cross at your ankles. That's fine. Think of pulling inward, so squeezing thighs together. And if you can, bring it over. And we're going to twist to the right. So we took right leg over left, and then twist. So this will release the pressure on the sciatic nerve. And by crossing that leg over the midline, we're allowing ourselves to twist a little bit more of the spine from top to bottom. Good. Release forward, release the leg out, and let's take it to the other side. Taking it where you feel comfortable, crossing it over, and sit up tall, and then twist to your left. Remember, sit up as tall as you can. Abdominal support, back support. To center. Unwind the legs. Take a moment, roll out the shoulders if you want. Whatever movement you need, maybe your neck's gentle movement. Good. And let's get ready to relax. So relaxing in the chair class can be done a number of ways. One, you might just scoot your seat back so your back is up against your chair. If you have a pillow that you can put behind your back, that might feel nice. I like to kind of fold up into my chair. If that's something that is comfortable for you, to go into easy pose with your legs, feel free. I'll just turn my palms up so my wrists are resting against the backs of my, or against my thighs or my knees. And chest up, shoulders relaxed. And just breathing here. So that might be something that feels good to you. I have some people that kind of sit forward and recline back. If you do that and it feels comfortable, you can kind of set what am I saying? Think of it right now. The occipital ridge, the back of at the base of your skull against the back of the chair. And that might feel good. And then also I'm going to keep showing you some options. Some prefer to go down to their mat, especially if they're already down there, and elevate the legs on the chair. This is a really good one for de-stressing and for releasing lower back pain. So just getting onto your back gently, use those arms. And if you want, take it to a fully folded leg so your calves are completely supported on the chair. You can certainly be farther away and have your legs more extended too. But this might feel really nice for some of you. And then of course there's traditional Shavasana. I'm just going to scoot back a bit. Legs extended, toes rolled out, arms at the side, palms upward, fingers softly curling. If you're not symmetrical, take a moment to rock into it and find that. And then we're just going to breathe and let go. So every breath, just being aware of relaxing your body from head to toe. Feeling your body just soften, sink. Feeling the support of the floor, draw your body down into it. Joints softening, muscles relaxing, feeling heavy, yet supported. Lots of great times of the day to do yoga. First thing in the morning to energize your body. Middle of the day to de-stress. Right before bed to relax yourself and get yourself ready to sleep. So choose what works best for you. If you want, you can pause this video and do the warm-up part in the morning, the cool down at night, the work part during the day, whatever. Just make it work for you. You don't have to do it all at once. I hope you do enjoy doing yoga with me today, tomorrow, whatever day you choose to do it. Do it as much as you can to help your body open up to it. And please show yourself grace. And thank you for joining me today or whenever you're joining me. And I really miss my live classes with you, and I hope to see you soon. But I hope you're all taking really good care of yourselves and isolating and just being really safe. I miss you and I love you, and namaste.